This is the Ries Report, and I'm Laura Ries. Today's report is on the Wii. Did you get one for Christmas? My lucky boy got one for Christmas, and boy was he excited. This was the one thing he really wanted. And not just him, millions of kids and adults alike wanted one of these things across the country and world. It is the hottest thing in the gaming industry. How did they win the battle of the video game market? Well, let's look. They're getting a lot of PR. Wii is eclipsing Sony. Unbelievable. Tiny little Nintendo is winning against Sony? Well, it's true. Games that sell while others languish. And Wii is selling, well, PlayStation not so much. It's a battle of David and Goliath. The little guy can win if they get the marketing right, and that certainly is the case with Nintendo. A brilliant job of marketing and positioning their brand against the leaders. Nintendo small, Sony huge, as well Microsoft and the Xbox, their other competition. Look at it in terms of the sales of these companies. Last year, Nintendo had sales of $4.3 billion. Now, that's not too bad, but that's tiny in comparison to its competition and the resources that they have at their disposal. Microsoft is a company, $44.3 billion. That's 10 times the size of Nintendo. And Sony, 15 times the size of Nintendo at $63.5 billion. Yet David is winning. Nintendo is winning the battle. How are they doing it? Well, there's two approaches in marketing today. One approach says, we're going to do it better. And that's what the gaming industry has always been about. It's an arms race to see who can build the bigger, faster, more exciting, more complex graphic machine possible. Better, better, better. The other approach in business is doing it different. Not just being better than the competition, but finding some way to be different and to be first in a new category in the mind of the consumer. See, there's Microsoft Xbox 360, a better, more features, more type of machine, as well with the Sony PlayStation 3 that even has the Blu-ray DVD feature added. And there's Nintendo that did the opposite. PlayStation and Xbox, expensive, fast, complex machines. Nintendo, totally the opposite. It's cheaper, it's slower, and it's far easier to use, and the games are far simpler in their graphics and application. But despite that, Nintendo is winning with the easier system. People are completely resonating to that because it is different. And that difference, well, it's visualized in that fantastic wireless controller that people get up off the couch and move around and interact with the game. And it's been a great hook for word of mouth and PR. I mean, in fact, here's a recent article saying how people are in fact getting tennis elbow from playing this Wii too much. Wii versus the PlayStation 3, how are the console sales doing? Well, let's take a look what happened in the fourth quarter of last year. Wii sold 3.2 million consoles, one of which was mine, and PlayStation 3 sold 1.8 million consoles. There is no doubt that Wii is clearly winning this battle now, and I think will so in the future, too. Wii has PS3 beat. It's all over the media. And see, what happens is when the PR builds and people start perceiving Wii to be the winner and PS3 to be the loser, that's just going to pour it on more, and Wii's going to accelerate even more, just the way, incidentally enough, it happened years ago when PlayStation beat Nintendo in the gaming market. Wii, more exciting and fun. Nintendo has done it differently this time, and it's not the first time. They've done it before. In fact, with the portable video game player, it wasn't just a better video game player, it was new, it was portable, and they've sold 100 million Game Boys worldwide. And then they didn't make a better portable, they were different. They made the first dual-screen portable machine, and the Nintendo DS has been incredibly successful, selling 10 million in the Americas alone. And look at the net profit margins of Sony and Nintendo. How does being first, being different, affect the profitability of a company? Well, Sony is, in the past 10 years total, 1.7% net profit margins. Nintendo, whoa, is that right? 14.6% because they have a powerful position that they own in the mind of the consumer by being first, by being different, and by owning those categories. So what's the better product strategy? What do most marketing managers sit around and think about? How are we going to be better than the competition? What are we going to do to be better, better, better? In fact, a recent book has been written called Simply Better, and that book was named the best marketing book of the year by the AMA. But hey, to win, it's not about being better. Not at all. It's about being different than the competition. Hey, if you're going to introduce an energy drink, how are you going to compete with Red Bull with over $2 billion in sales worldwide? How are you going to do it? Well, you're going to make a better energy drink? That's what most people tried. Everybody copied Red Bull with the small can, snazzy advertising, fancy graphics, events, you name it, they tried it. None of them succeeded. Nobody succeeded by building a better energy drink. Most people think Red Bull doesn't even taste good. I don't think it tastes good. Many of the others taste better. It doesn't matter. How do you beat Red Bull or compete with Red Bull? You do the opposite. And that's exactly what Monster did. They didn't introduce the small can. They had the giant can. And Monster has become a strong number 2 to Red Bull. How are you going to build a better cola than Coke? Well, interestingly enough, Coke itself tried it. They introduced New Coke, which they proved tastes better than original classic Coca-Cola. They did 200,000 blind taste tests with consumers, and they proved that New Coke was number 1 in taste, and classic Coke was number 3 in taste. So you would imagine that New Coke would be a runaway success. It tasted so great and was so much better. But we all know how that turned out, don't we? When it hit the market, New Coke was number 3 in sales and a total disaster. And of course, Coke had to bring back the original formula and kill the new version. Because you don't taste the can, you taste in the mind. You look at the can, you think in your mind, and you say, this is the real thing, and I love Coke. And that's exactly what happens in marketing. Chrysler, for years, has tried to build a better car. The Chrysler 300 is the latest incarnation of that, yet they've never been able to achieve more than 10% of the sedan market. What was the better strategy for Chrysler? Well, they did it before. The way they became powerful was by being a different kind of car. And they first introduced the minivan. And for many years, they had 50% of the minivan market. You win by not trying to be better than the competition, but by being different. So what are you going to do today? Are you going to try to be better than your competition? Or are you going to do what we did? No. You should do what we did. You need to be better. It's better to be different.